Welcome back to episode 19 of the Union 0430. Up in my top left-hand corner is a face most of you will recognize, Mr. Daryl Gilbert from Hired to Hunt, which shows on Wild TV here in Canada. So we got a real good show with Daryl. Daryl is a bit of a fucking nomad, and he's up in Hudson's Bay right now, so bear with him on his internet connection and everything else, but we're going to power through it. As usual, we'll introduce the boys. We got Dave down in Kincardine. We got Phil up in the dirty Schwa. We got Ryan down in Nova Scotia and Mark up in the beautiful Ottawa Valley in Renfrew. And like I said, we've got Daryl up in just a mile offshore from the Hudson's Bay. So, pretty good show. Pretty excited to finally get Daryl on. It's been only 2 months of me tormenting him and trying to get him to come on, and finally got him. I've known Daryl for as long as I've had Punisher Waterfowl on the go. Just as I was starting Punisher Waterfowl, Daryl was starting his guiding life after leaving the military. So, you know what? It's awesome and a real special show to have you on, Daryl. So thanks so much for coming on, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Again, a really good show because I've known Daryl. Phil knows Daryl. They've hunted together. Ryan's even went out and guided with Daryl last year. Ryan and myself went up in 2017 and hunted with Daryl in Saskatchewan in his camp. So this is a really, really cool show for me to be able to have Ryan on, or be able to have Daryl on. So I'm going to get right into it. Daryl, I think a lot of fellas, and this is the way I'm thinking, when they watch Hired to Hunt and they see you guys in a beautiful lodge, and you got these unbelievable hunts that are filmed and are shown on TV, and it just seems like it. I know some episodes there's always there might be a hiccup here and there, but it really doesn't show just how hard it is to every day have people on spectacular hunts that they're getting their money's worth. Can you give us just for our listeners exactly what a day involves with you when it comes to guiding?
Yeah, I guess so. Like a basic full day, just a normal day, like nothing weird going on, would be at our camp anyways. So you're going to wake up for first light or well before first light. It depends on what you as a guide is watching or hunting. So the way we work is we hunt and we spot. Some places have scouters, some places have just guides that guide hunts. We don't like that system because we find that everybody's trying to fulfill their worth. And if you have a spotter that's really not pulling his weight, sometimes he just puts guys in on hunts that really aren't the best, but he found a hunt, so he did his job. And then there's nowhere to, everybody passes the buck, it seems, when it's like that system. Like the scouter can be like, well, the guide did a crappy job hunting it. And the guide can be like, well, the spotter did a crappy job spotting it. So we don't like that system. So we do the guide and hunt. You guide your own hunts and you spot your own hunts. So there's a lot of motivation there because you want to be in the field. So you want to get out there and hunt, and you want to put yourself in on a good hunt because you're the guy that's sitting in the field. You don't want to have to sit there and be like, well, sorry guys, the birds just aren't showing up today, right? So based on what you have, if you're out spotting for the morning, you need to wake yourself up accordingly and find out your timing. Like, the field I'm watching first, you need to figure out, am I watching a pothole for ducks? Am I watching a field for honkers? Am I watching snows? Everything's different. So if I'm watching a pothole for ducks, I need to be there at first light. Like I need to wake up where I need to watch them, because they're coming into puddle and they start before first light. So I need to figure out my driving time. So, you know, it's the big boy rules, right? Like everybody does what they have to do. You get up when you need to be. There's nobody going to be knocking on your door saying, hey, you got to go watch that. Well, I need you up an hour and a half earlier, right? So you wake up when you know you need to go, you get in your vehicle, you get there depending on what you have. So if you need to watch those ducks puddle, you got to be there earlier. If you got to watch some Canadas and the weather's a little rough, you know, you need to plan your spotting mission accordingly. So I'm going to go to my pothole ducks first, watch them puddle, see how many groups are coming in. We've got, you know, certain amounts that we want to see in a pothole or heading into a field to allow for a good hunt, to give the hunters enough opportunity to kill enough birds. Even if they're good shooters or not good shooters, we have to take that into account too. But don't want to give away all the secrets either.
Yeah.
But
I get
so,
it, buddy. I get it.
Yeah, so you're up at the sun basically, or an hour before, and we do a quick breakfast, have a little chat, you know, a little team meeting, and then we all head our own ways. We all spot our different areas, and basically we're out spotting until the birds head back to the roost. And during your time spotting, you're asking permission, you're checking out new areas, see where new movements of birds are. You're checking out known areas that you know you have birds. You're just doing a big loop basically according to what your schedule is. And then, hey, the birds head back early. You're sometimes asking for permission still, or you're still driving into some fields you have permission to check them out, to just see different sign and see how the entrance and the exits the field or swath, see how many rows you have to drive around, or if you can even get in there, if you got to walk in, or you know what kind of gear you got to use, if you had to use full bodies or silhouettes or socks, depending on how you get in. You have to take the Ranger. So there's a million things to it. You could be out till, you know, noon, sometimes even 1 o'clock out spotting. But so you'd come back, and then we have like a big brunch kind of lunch, and we eat with the clients there, and we all chat. We hang birds up on the photo deck, get photos with the guys, but then everybody goes and helps unload the trucks, get everything ready for the next hunt. Then we do a team meeting. So we all sit down, kind of share what we all have for spotting, what happened on the hunts, you know, what we could have done better, what we didn't do that we should have done, that kind of thing. Just kind of a debrief on what was good, what was bad. Just kind of improve everybody's knowledge and skill, right? And so we'll do that meeting, and then we'll pick our next hunts for the afternoon there. And once we pick the hunts, we head out, we load up for the afternoon hunts and get everything ready. Close the doors on the trailer, get the truck ready to go, tell the hunters what time we're going in the afternoon. And then there's a little bit of downtime sometimes, but most of the time we're doing something else. We're either cutting willow branches, or we're, you know, changing a trailer tire, changing a CRV tire, changing fluids on CRV, all kinds of stuff, right? There's lots of stuff to do. So always some work to do around the camp. But then if you're not hunting, you're back out spotting. If you're hunting, you're going out around 2-3 o'clock in the afternoon, getting out there, get set up in time, do your hunt in the evening, or you're out spotting all evening. If you're out spotting all evening, you're coming in after dark. You got to put the birds to bed, make sure they're, you know, leaving the field when you want them to, and heading to the roost that you want them to, or the multiple roosts you want them to, and nothing happens. So you can be out there pretty late, but same with the hunt. You pack up the hunt, come back. So everybody's kind of back there at least half hour after dark to maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours after dark. And, you know, depending on the time of year, it can be pretty late, early September. You got long days, right? So it can be longer days for us. But as the season goes on, you can sleep in a little more and come back in a little earlier. So the early season is a lot longer days, but the later season's a little shorter. But yeah, if you're hunting in the morning, we'll go back to that because I kind of just said spotting. But if you're hunting, you pick your time when you have to go to the field with what you know your driving distance is and what time you got to set up and what setup you're using. You know, if you're doing a snow spread, it's going to take longer versus a puddle duck shoot. You know, so you're telling the hunters, okay, I want you guys ready to go out the door at this time. So then in the morning, you go in, you wake the hunters up. They have a quick little breakfast there and jump in the trucks and go to your hunt. So you do your hunt and either until you've got your limit or birds really stop flying and we got to get back to camp to get them to eat and then they can have some downtime in the afternoon, right?
Yeah. Daryl, I know.
So it can be long.
Oh, sorry, buddy. No, go
No
ahead,
worries.
buddy.
I was just saying
I was cutting you off.
Yeah, lots of delay here. We're on satellite Wi-Fi up here, so it's pretty delayed.
It's like being overseas again. Daryl, I know, again, going back to the show and people that recognize you and know you and really only know you because of the show, not the people that you've known for all the years that you've been hunting and guiding and stuff, but just the people that know you from TV. You know, it hasn't been an overnight success for you to get to where you are today. Like, this didn't happen just out of pure luck. This was nothing but hard work and determination on your part to make a life this way. You know, I know you'd done 2 stints in the Army, joined, you know, wanted something else, got out, rejoined, got out again, had your own thing. You know what I mean? Like, it has been a tough go for you, and it's only because of sheer will and determination that you're where you are. So all of these, I know Dave is probably going to touch on it, these young fellas that want to guide and stuff like that, and they think that it's an easy go, but you know, you got to be tough mentally to be able to live this life, I think, eh?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be any good at guiding and go to places you want to go, it's definitely not just jump into it and you know you're at the right place right away. But I mean, it's the same as anything. You got to work hard at it to get what you want, and you're gonna have to continue to work hard at it. It's not an easy go like people might think, you know. But it depends. Different experience vary, I guess. Like, there's different levels of guiding, and you know, there's what we call what we do is outfitting. We're doing the total package. Like, there's guiding and then there's outfitting, in my opinion. So you've got guide services, which is basically, you know, meet me at the boat launch and I take you fishing for a couple hours a day, you know. But an outfitter is like, okay, well, I pick you up at the airport, I provide you meals, I provide you accommodations, I provide you, you know, the boat, the services, everything. Like, everything's catered to you. That's outfitting. And having the equipment to take care of all that stuff too. Like, you need to do the maintenance, or you need to, if something breaks down in the middle of a hunt or a fishing trip, you've got to have the stuff to repair it to continue to do it, right? So there's a difference there between like a guide service and an outfitter. And we're outfitters. Like, that's what we do. We do the total package. You've got guys that you see, you know, offer 150 per person. It's, you know, it's more of a like a day hunt deal, and it's totally different experiences. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but it depends what you want to achieve out of it, you know. Like, if you want to make a full your life out of it, then you've got to go the outfitting route, in my opinion. But you know, if it's a weekend deal, you know, you like guiding people, interacting with people, taking people hunting, showing them how to do it right, then, you know, you got a Monday to Friday job, you run a guide service on the weekend, there's nothing wrong with that. But that's just different experiences, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. And you know what? I never ever really put much thought into the difference of the words between guiding and outfitting. So yeah, maybe a good piece of education for our listeners there, because I usually just throw both words around meaning the same thing to me, but good education on good education for me. Boys, anybody got anything you want? I've been stealing it from you, so if you've got anything for Daryl, chime in.
Where you guys hunt, Daryl, at West there? Like how far of a drive would you go out to scout from your lodge or your base, so to speak?
So when we hunt from the lodge, we really try to keep it within an hour radius. If ideally 20 to 30 minutes, but or shorter. I mean, if we've got to hunt across the road, we're going to hunt it. But 20 to 30 minutes is the ideal number. But if it's a really good hunt, we'll push out to about an hour. We don't. It just becomes too time consuming and a lot of resources once you start getting out past an hour from the lodge. And like guides have to get up earlier, hunters have to get up earlier, and they don't want to get up earlier. If the guides are getting up earlier, to go spot an hour away, you're just getting tired out, and everybody gets broken down by the end of the season if you're getting up really, really early like that and taking too much time to travel distances like that, and you're eating up fuel and more wear on tires and equipment. It's just little things that people don't realize. Like we chew tires up like crazy on the gravel roads out there. Like we burn through sets of tires. Like we'll go through 30 tires a season, like just on gravel roads. So
where were these mythical 20-30 minute hunts from the camp when I was there?
You were doing your own scouting.
I don't know. There one close, like the area I spot's close to Brian. You were what, 30 to 45 minutes?
Yeah, it was about 35, 40 max, so it wasn't too bad. But and I liked it. Gave me time to get up in the morning too, so for scouting. But yeah, good times.
You brought it up, Daryl, and I still laugh and I still tell people about it. Because the trip when we came out and hunted, which it was really my first time out west hunting birds, and I can remember us piling aboard the CRV, and you brought up the CRV again, and I still remember chuckling as though, look, well, where's the big 4x4 pickup and everything, and you telling me, no man, the CRV that's the vehicle of choice out here. And I just found it so funny. I still to this day, I laugh when I see a CRV. When I watch the show and I see you guys driving around in them, it cracks me up.
Yeah, they're great for spotting vehicles. Like they're just, I mean, yeah, it'd be nice to spot out of a giant, 2,500 diesel truck or whatever. But hey, like resource wise, like tires are expensive on big trucks, fuel's expensive, just wear and tear, the amount of miles we put on in the season too. Like you just mile out vehicles, and we hit a lot of deer. Like yeah, it happens there. Like if you're spotting, you're gonna eventually connect with one. It's just they're everywhere out there. So I mean, you hit one with a CRV, or you hit one with your whatever F-250 or Dodge 2500, and one you're not too worried about, the other you're a little more upset.
It's sitting on your lap.
What's your criteria for finding those CRVs? Do you get like high mileage cheap ones and just keep running them?
Yeah, so actually the older models are the ones we look for, like the 98 to 01s. And they're a little more fuel efficient, and they have less electronics in them, so they don't fail as much. The newer ones seem to have like evap canister problems. Like we rip the evap canisters off all the new ones because they're like right below the frame, and any type of tall grass or stubble we go through, it rips the evap canisters right off them, and then I gauge up like a tree and thing shuts down. So the old ones are nicer.
I was looking at a new truck here recently for taking the boat around and scouting, and then the dealer's like, oh yeah, the new Trail Boss from Chevy, it has all these different, like, shut off certain cylinders to save fuel and blah. I'm like, holy shit, that's just more stuff to go wrong. Like, do you have anything that's just like an old-fashioned V8 with a carburetor on it? Like,
yeah. The carburetor is the key.
Yeah. So Daryl, Damien kind of touched on it. Like, what advice would you give to some of these young guys that are wanting to come up and to become a guide or an outfitter or anything like that? Like, should they be focused on making sure they're like competition call level or learn scouting, or is it kind of just, you know what, you got to immerse yourself in it all and do it all?
Yeah, I mean, like as a guide personally, like as myself, I would want my level of calling to be high, and I'd want my dog to be well trained, and my ability to spot to be the best to my knowledge anyways. But like for a new guy getting into it who wants to head west, I would say like calling isn't a huge priority. Like you're not going to get a job based on being a world champion caller versus not. Like calling's not going to make a huge difference when an outfitter is deciding to hire you. They do want someone who can blow a call, but like it's not the be all end all thing out west. Like you can, some outfitters really want someone with no experience to be able to train them the way they want, because you get a lot of guys who say they've been here, done that, and it's just a totally different way than how they like to operate. So to a new guy who wants to head west and guide, I would say just go for it. Put in wherever you want to hunt, basically. Like search the area. If you want to hunt Saskatchewan or you want to hunt Alberta or Manitoba, you know, look for an outfit that might be hiring and contact them. Don't be shy to contact them. Send them a resume or an email and just say, hey, like, I'm interested in guiding. If you need anybody in the future or spotting, like, I'm willing to do whatever. But I guess the number one thing I would say is just to be careful which outfit you choose to go to. Some of unfortunately in this industry, some outfits you go to, they like to abuse guys that are passionate about hunting and new to it and getting into it. So some outfitters will be like, yeah, I'll hire you, but you got to bring your truck out here. I'm not going to pay any of your expenses. And you got to run your decoys and your trailer, but they won't pay you any extra for it. And I don't think that's right. But a lot of guys who want to get into it, they see that and they're like, yeah, I'm all for it. Right. And I did it when I first got into it. I used my truck, I used my decoys, my equipment, and I had a brand new spread. Like I bought a brand new spread. I had a nice enclosed trailer. I had a fairly new truck, and I miled out my truck and destroyed it. And my decoy spread, everybody destroyed it. The hunters destroyed it. The other guides wanted to use it and they destroyed it. So just be careful with what they ask of you. There's a lot of people that will take advantage of you, but you really shouldn't have to use your own equipment or vehicles if you're working for a quality outfitter.
Yeah. And you kind of touched on it too, like about the hiring process. When someone does apply to one of the better outfitters out there, what kind of hiring process is there? Like, do you do like nowadays a Skype or a phone interview, and do you have them come out and like help you guide for a bit to see their personality as well? Like what kind of thing would they be looking at?
Yeah, so most of the time anyways, when I've been looking for guides, I tend to like to have them come out and just see if we mesh, kind of, you know, we could work together. And you know, they're a good hunter, they know what they're doing, they're a self-starter. But I mean, some guys will just do it over email. I've done some over phone calls before when I was first getting into it. Just simple phone call, and then you come out and you start hunting. And if they don't like you, they send you home. If they do like you, you stay on, right? So it's pretty dependent on the individual outfitter. But yeah, nowadays with you know, internet chat, video, whatever you call this stuff, then I'm sure some guys are doing that way. But yeah, it's pretty open. There's no set standard in the industry. It's just whatever the individual outfitter chooses.
And you guys too, like you guys are running long days. Like you guys are up well before daylight, and you're not getting back till well after dinner time, like logging 16, 18-hour days, and that's definitely not for the weak of heart, so to speak, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you definitely have to want to do it, and it shows really fast if somebody's there and they're just not into it. Their effort disappears within the first week. But hey, I don't think too many guys that are into it or get into it don't know what it entails, anyways. And if they do, they tend to not last a couple days. So
yeah, it's definitely not an 8-hour Monday to Friday. So even at my age now, I three hunts in a row, and like only like 3 mornings in a row, and by day 3 it's like, yeah, just let me lay on the couch with the dog and just sleep for the afternoon.
yeah, pretty much for the full season. It's even before the season starts, for a month before the season starts, we're just prepping everything, getting everything ready, and you're sun up, sun down every day. Like, and when the season's actually running, the only time we get off really is a Saturday evening. Most outfitters out west tend to run. Clients will show up Sunday, hunt Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday morning. Wednesday's a turnaround. Clients come in Wednesday night, hunt Thursday, Friday, Saturday morning. So your only downtime is really Saturday evening. And usually the guides just kind of all get together, have a drink or two, and sit around a campfire or something and relax and get up the next morning, go spotting all day.
So Daryl, tell us about what you're doing right now. So right now, we've got the COVID pandemic that's completely shut down the border between Canada and the US. Tell us about what's going on with you right now, what your plans are for the fall, and then whatever else tidbits of information you want to pass on.
Yeah, so that's been a mess this year. Like, we canceled all our snow goose hunters in the spring. We had to, because that's when the first border closure happened. Even resident hunters didn't even want to come out because it was so unsure around that time, and we didn't want to run them in case something happened. Like, we didn't want to be responsible for bringing it to a certain area that we hunt or something, or if whatever happened, because we were going to so many gas stations and restaurants, like, and everything was shut down, so we couldn't even make it run. So that shut us down for spring snows. And then for the fishing lodge this summer, we went in to do maintenance and work with hopes that the border would open. But the way the States was going, we knew it wasn't going to open. So we, the staff all left after 30 days, and I ended up staying around to do some more maintenance and a bit of fishing, actually, which was nice for once. But
I watched you on social media.
A few nice ones there.
Yeah. And then the border closure extended again. So now, obviously, they've closed it to September 21st right now. So that cuts into the Waterfowl. And so I got asked to come up to Hudson's Bay here to a lodge, Casca Goose Lodge is called. The fishing lodge that I manage, the owner owns this lodge as well. So he asked me if we weren't running this fall, I could come up here to help him do some runway maintenance, extend the runway a bit, and do some hunting on our time off. So hopefully in the next few days here, the snows just started migrating here today. And there's an open season August 15th to 31st for snows right here, special season in the northern districts. So we might get out in the next day or two here. It's literally the first day we've seen snows migrating, and it's like 0 degrees. It's cold here right now. It's raining outside. It's windy. It's nasty. It's perfect hunting weather. But yeah, so I'll be here till mid-September, and then head back to Saskatchewan. Get back to Saskatchewan. I got all the normal maintenance to do when we get back. All the hunting gear's ready to go. We have it ready to go after the season, so it's just going to be a matter of getting it all together and finding some hunts and get out there. We're going to do some filming in Saskatchewan. Claudio's still filming Hired to Hunt. They're going to be filming here and then on opener and a bunch of days after that. So we're going to get together, film, do some of that filming in Alberta. I'm not sure what else he wants to do with that. But I'm sure we'll be filming as much as we can for the show this fall. And I'm going to be doing a bunch of film in Saskatchewan and that's pretty much it. Not much
still,
we can do until that opens.
Still sounds like you're in for a busy fall, buddy. I don't.
Oh
think,
yeah, it's never.
Yeah.
What's your limit on snows up there?
0.
Where I am right now. So yeah, in Manitoba, we are right now 50 per person a day. So I think,
not bad.
in the next,
Yeah.
will come that, but
how's Deke doing, Daryl?
he's doing pretty good. Had a couple scares there this summer with he there's ticks in the area at the fishing lodge, so I gave him Next Guard, and instantly it started giving him seizures because I guess it's a neurological, does something neurologically to the ticks, but it affected him as well. So for 30 days there, he had about 4 or 5 seizures from it, and man, one of them lasted about 5 minutes. I didn't think he was gonna make it through, but he hasn't had one since. I didn't give him any more, obviously, and he's good now. But yeah, that was a bit of a scare. But
hands down, the most amazing dog I have ever had the pleasure of hunting over. There is no other dog that comes close to that, to him. I remember one morning we were hunting, and we were like cleaning up, like picking up our birds, getting a count, and he left and went like the next concession over, for Christ's sake, and then came back with a goose. And he was like, yeah, he watched it. He watched it trail off and fly for God knows how long, and came back with it while we're all picking up and everything. He's like, yeah, I'll just go get this last one down here, and you guys just pick everything up, and I'll be back here in 10, 15 minutes.
He's out west. You can see for 4 miles.
Yeah, we watched him. It's like we couldn't see him.
Yeah.
Just took him 20 minutes to get back. That's all.
Get the next time zone for crying out loud.
Yeah, he's
like,
a solid pup.
and he's been an awesome dog. But I mean, hunting out west, just being able to hunt snows with a new dog too. Like when he was new, hunting snows and just shooting volumes of birds, of white birds too, in big grain fields. Like they learn to mark so well. They learn to chase cripples over the dead birds. They learn to take long straight lines in those fields too. But I mean, when you're on the dog's level in those fields, though, I don't want to take it away from them. Like there's a lot of like undulating ground. Like when you're at the dog's level, you can't see those birds that are, a half mile away or even a mile away. Like they disappear. And some of that stubble's pretty high. Like you have to walk the rows sideways to even see a bird laying in that stubble sometimes. So, I mean, they've got their work cut out for them still.
Yeah. I've got a pup coming less than 2 weeks now, and hopefully if the COVID thing calms down and she gets up to a level where I'm confident, I'm going to bring her out west next year if we all go back to normal. But I know this year when I was there, after probably my 5th cripple, I was like, I'm not coming back without a dog ever again. So.
That's awesome. I wanted to bring up something else, Daryl, and just and really just etiquette, I guess, is one thing that I thought of that I really wanted to talk to you about. And yeah, I guess it would fall under etiquette. So you deal every day of the season with people that pay an extraordinary amount of money for the opportunity to come hunt and to be able to take in all of what's Western Canada and the Pothole region. But, you alluded to it when you said, you're up early when it's dark, you're traveling, you got your hunters, you get out, depending on the hunt. Like I remember when we were out with you, we were putting out socks every morning. How important is it, and etiquette wise, to have everybody, every one of the hunters there helping set up and tear down decoys and set up for that morning hunt or evening hunt or whatever?
I mean, it's nice to have everybody help, but we also understand that not everybody can. Like we get some older hunters with us and they have health issues. you know, so if they have to sit in the truck, that's fine. Like we're not going to be on them or anything, you know, that's what they got to do. That's what they got to do. We're fine with putting them all out for them, but we'll just have to bring out another guide in the morning. Right. But yeah, it's nice. We usually, it's funny too. Like if you ever gone on a guided hunt in the States, it's totally different. Like everything's done for you, right? Like to put out decoys down there, they look at you sideways. If you were guiding and you're like, hey, you're going to help me put this spread out, they look at you like, what are you talking about? Like, that's what I'm paying you for.
Oh, really?
So up here, yeah. But up here, the way the hunting style is, or the guiding style, it's, you know, for everybody to get up at a reasonable time and get out in the field and be set up on time. Everybody really needs to pitch in, and that's just kind of the way it works. And a lot of guys want to be part of that. That's like if I was on a guided hunt, I would want to be all over that. That's part of the hunt to me, right? So, and I think it is to a lot of these guys too. But the ones with health issues, obviously, they probably want to do it, but they just can't. So
Yeah.
it's
No,
not a problem.
Totally get the fellas that are health issues or older and a little bit difficult to be able to move around, especially when it's dark, stupid, and trying to set everything up and stuff. But yeah, no, I totally get it. For me, I know every time I go out, I learn something more. So setting up decoys and listening to fellas talk and strategize on how they're doing their spread and what they're expecting and all that stuff. That's all stuff that I take and stick in my back pocket for future use. So yeah, I guess I'm helping, but I'm also gaining a lot out of it at the same time when I'm slugging around grain bags full of socks.
Yeah, I think like actually being involved, you know, you're going to learn a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the guides or whoever else you're working with. Like, how big of a spread do you guys normally run out there, Daryl? Like, for any typical field shoot or pond shoot?
Honestly, it's all situation dependent and totally depends on the season and what we're hunting. But I mean, like for a typical pothole shoot, for a duck pothole, like you can get away with a couple dozen decoys, but I would want to use at least 5 dozen myself. It's all situation dependent, you know. But snows, like I like to put out, if I'm using socks don't really fill the volume of area up enough. Like I want to use at least 1,000 socks if I'm running socks for snows. If I'm using full bodies, I want to run at least 500 just because they fill more volume. But it's totally dependent where you're hunting. Like it's different in Alberta, it's different in Saskatchewan, it's different in the south to the north, like the amount you should use or what you should use. It's totally different. And the thing you were saying, like learning about spreads and that, even I don't think anybody as a waterfowl hunter can say like I know everything about setting up spreads and decoys. Every you go on, you learn something new pretty much. Like there's always something you're going to pick up. And I think that's what keeps a lot of us coming back, because there's always something to learn and something new to try and different to do. And I think that's what a lot of guys should do too, is to, like, they get stuck in their ways with their spreads and they use the same amounts and the same numbers. And you got to set up this arm like this or that leg or a V or a Y or a J. And you got to try different things, and get out of your comfort zone. If your comfort zone is this because one day we shot a limit over that, you know, it's not going to work every single day. Like conditions are different. There's certain little things that you should make sure your spread has every day, but there's also certain things you have to change no matter what. You know?
Yeah, just like those guys that have experienced like maybe 2 hunts over silos, and now they don't ever want to hunt over them again because they had a bad experience. Right?
Do I show you the finger I cut?
So, Daryl, I know one thing, and I know you've done a fair amount of laughing at us when we were out there, but it must be a blast to just. I remember like you being in behind us and calling the shots, and there'd be, 50, 60 birds above us, and we'd only drop 2 or 3. And I could still hear you laughing at us when our shooting to be shit. it's got to be a hoot, man, to be out every day and just meeting all of these different hunters and people from all around the world. You must come across some pretty amazing individuals.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say like 99% of the people we meet and hunt with are just awesome people, and everybody, each group is unique in their own way, and you're always looking forward to the repeats, like coming back. They're all friends, right? It's all a good time, and we make sure it's a good time. Like we have fun with each other. Like, you know,
Yeah,
guys missing birds, we can cut them up a little bit without work. You know, it's fun, right? Everybody have a good time. Like it's a vacation for these guys too, right? This is their time off to come hunt. And for some guys, this is the trip of a lifetime for them. Like this is the only chance they get to come do it. So we want to make it the best experience possible for them, you know?
Yeah, no, there's so many things so many memories that's coming up as I'm talking to you about this and remembering the trip out west and it seems like such a simple thing, but I don't think it's something that people really put a whole lot of thought in when they're planning their trip. Let's say they're planning their trip out west, and that's how are you going to get all your meat home? Because I know we had a hell of a time to try and figure it out. We really did not plan properly on getting that sheer amount of birds home and the packaging and crossing borders and all of that stuff. You know, what kind of advice do you give people when they're coming?
Well, I mean, we take care of everything. Like we package the birds. We have a bird processor on site, right? And so they package the birds with color-coded tags in bed, wings attached, so everything's legal, and literally just a matter of packing them in coolers and taking them. So if you're on a flight, you know, you got to have certain cooler restrictions there, sizes. So you have to either have a couple extra ones or you have to pay the oversized baggage on them. But
yeah,
I mean, guys want to eat birds, right? Like all these guys from the South, like the Arkansas guys, they want to eat every single bird they kill, which is awesome, right? And they take them all home. And they want to cook at the lodge when they come, half those guys. So.
Yeah. I just remember like coming back and just, I think, I can't remember exactly, but I think we were coming home with every day or every morning we were coming back with almost 100 birds. That was our morning hunt. We were coming back with almost 100 birds. And, you know, we had the coolers. We knew we were going to have but I don't think we really understood just how much we were going to bring back. And we showed up in an SUV and I was just, like I got it that you've got the bird processor and stuff, but if you're flying in, you better be prepared to pay for some extra baggage. If you're driving in, you better make room for some extra coolers.
If it wasn't for the Chinese restaurant, we were screwed because they turned a lot of meat into like some really good like beef and broccoli. Like they turned the specs into like beef and broccoli style Chinese food, which was amazing. So, but that like compressed a whole bunch of meat down into like trays for us to travel with. So that like saved our bacon for sure.
Specs and broccoli. I need that recipe.
Oh, buddy, it was amazing.
We got to get Steve.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's specs, broccoli, and MSG.
Oh.
Hey, you got to preserve it.
Steve Horace could teach you something.
Yeah, that is true.
Have you watched those YouTube videos, Uncle Roger?
No.
Talking about like MSG's the best thing. Put it on everything. You got to watch that.
Loaded in the chicken balls.
Yeah.
Chicken balls, eh?
Daryl, I've often wondered and wanted to ask you a million times, how much is Ryan's goddamn food bill from that time when we were out? It's because, buddy, like we ate like pigs for that week that we were out there. How in the hell did you ever make any money off of us?
He didn't.
I lost my there, but and he was guiding for us last year. I think he made it an effort to finish every single dessert that was on a plate left over at the end.
Sounds like
of the
Ryan.
meal, and any over. It was pretty much right after done with the tables.
This is the Halloween candy. It was all the Halloween candy.
I ain't gonna have a shovel. I have a little shovel for you next time you're
I
there.
appreciate it. Yeah. I know they were, I came back from one of the hunts when they were filming, and I don't know if it'll be on the show or not, but like Claudia was there talking to the clients, and I know I still vividly remember coming down the steps to the hanging area, and I'm just like stuffing my face with like Kit Kats and coffee crisps, and it's on camera. So I don't know if it made the cut or not, but we'll see.
Chalky Bears.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
take the same
Yeah,
to go moose hunting just because it's at the right time, right?
Yeah.
Whatever's left over gets saved for deer season.
That's the one thing when you're out there and you're working, or if you're a client out there, there's more food than you can handle, and it's everywhere, and it's good. Like we were fortunate to have a good cook, and just it definitely keeps you going on the long days, knowing that at the end of a hunt, when you're done cleaning up a 1,000 snow rag spread, and you're coming in at 9:30, if there's a fresh hot meal being catered to the hunters that you're dragging in, it keeps you going for sure.
Yeah, I bet. Daryl, give me a funny story about Ryan last year, man. Something that's really going to make really, really something that we can stick it to him for the next little while.
I don't know. I got to think about that one. I'd say though, like him finishing off all those desserts. Like I remember one day there was probably like, I think there was like 26 or 27 chocolate eclairs, like the mini one.
Lion.
That's all.
On
The lion. Daryl, my wife watches this show. You frig off.
Ryan was holding back.
And he made it a challenge to eat them all, and he finished them all off probably in about 30 seconds. But
Like a champ, eh? Like
Yeah.
a champ.
oh yeah,
I don't think I've ever gone on a trip with Ryan anywhere where he didn't double down and eat at least twice as much as everyone else.
Normally.
It's my DNA, man.
It's going to be in the diabetes soon.
No, I space it out. I eat good at home, but
You eat good for 8 months,
Comes and goes.
yeah,
Right?
and then you just shit the bed then for.
my inner fat kid cried when I found out there's no guiding season this year. So
Well, since you left Ontario, Ryan, I've lost 20 pounds.
good for you.
Daryl, buddy, I know that you've got an extremely, extremely busy evening still left ahead of you. You still got to get stuff cleaned up and get ready for tomorrow. And I really don't want to keep you any longer than what you've already given us, buddy, because I know how busy you are, and I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done. I can't wait. I really, really do hope that I get to hang out with you soon and have a beer and shoot some birds. But I cannot thank you enough for coming on. And this is, and even more so that you're up in Hudson's Bay and doing this way. It's awesome, buddy.
yeah. Thanks for having me. It's nice seeing all you guys again. I mean, we haven't hunted together in a while, and I hunted with Phil a long time ago. It'd be nice to have him out west and hunt with us and see what the west is all about. And then Ryan will be back. I'm not too worried about Ryan, but hey, all the other guys here too, come on out west and we'll do some hunting.
I like
Yeah,
to shoot.
buddy. We'll do a quick round table and let Daryl get out of here, fellas. Mark.
Thanks for coming on, Daryl. It was good to meet you. Good to hear the stories. And yeah, I am looking forward to at some point. I don't have no idea when, but I'm definitely going to make my way out there and get a hunt in with you, hopefully with the rest of the gang. It'd be great.
Philly.
Daryl, good seeing you again, buddy. Wish you get back to Ontario someday and hopefully get you out for a shoot on one of my fields for a change. Return the favor, so to speak, bud.
Dave.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Nice to meet you. When these guys talk highly of somebody, it's somebody that you always want to go hunting with. So hopefully one day we get together.
Last word to you, Ryan, my man.
Daryl, buddy, stay in touch. Say hi to Em for me. and save some desserts for me. I'll be back as soon as this nonsense is over. Don't you worry about that. I'm coming for you.
Daryl, once again, buddy, thanks so much. You are, in my mind, the absolute role model for anybody that wants to live this life, because like I called you a nomad in the beginning, and you are a nomad because you choose to be one. And it's nothing but sheer will and determination that you are where you are today, and I'm glad to call you a friend. Buddy, thank you so much, and I'd love to be able to call on you again, maybe when the season's over, and we'll have a chat again, and you can tell us some stories. We'll give you some time to think about something embarrassing for Ryan.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks so much. Everybody, there's some big things coming for Punisher Waterfowl and Union 0430. But like always, you got to check in here. You got to follow us on social media. And I heard a new term today. You got to ring that bell on YouTube. That's what the kids say now when you want them to subscribe. You got to ring the bell.
But the kids said in like 2010, Damien. Get with the times.
Oh, is it
Is that
really?
actually what the kids say, Damien?
Well, I don't know. I
God.
fucking heard it the other day. I was like, oh, well, ring the bell. Well, cool. Fellas, thanks so much. It's awesome to see you. Awesome to see y'all. Daryl, awesome to see you as always, buddy. I love following you on social media, so keep it up, dude. Keep doing what you're doing. Fellas, thanks so much for coming on, and we'll talk next week when we have the man, Claudio Ongaro, on the show. Big love, everybody. Be safe. Chat soon.